Ladies and gentlemen, this is the revolutionary mind. In order to be free, in order to be liberated, the first step is to free your mind of the shackles that they put on you from childhood. You know, I've been doing my best to follow YouTube guidelines because you got to watch what you say on this particular platform because people tend to get offended by every single thing. Now, I know for a fact that I don't say anything hateful. I know for a fact I never tell anybody to hate anybody. I never, perpetrate any kind of hatred against anyone. I'm just basically telling black people what kind of society they live in and what they need to know. Because we don't live in a post-racial society. And many black people believe that we live in a post-racial society. If we lived in a post-racial society, that means that everybody would be treated equally, everybody would be treated fairly, and everybody would get justice that they are deserved. That means if someone of the dominant society killed someone in our community, that they be going to jail just as long as a black man that did something against their community. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. The justice system is not made to work for us. The justice system is the just us system. And it means just us, meaning white supremacy. Just us. Justice for just us. Not for us, black people, but for us. When I say us, I mean them. It works for them. It's never going to work for us. And if we do get some small victory, we do tend to get happy and get excited because we're not used to getting wins. We never really get wins when it comes to the court system at all. But I'm not going to get excited when I see a police officer get charges brought up on him because that's one in a million. We got a bunch of police officers still walking around to this day that have killed black children, that have killed black women, that have killed black men, that have killed innocent people who have put their hands up, who have not resisted, and they are still walking around with their jobs. Some have lost their jobs, but they're still walking around. They're not in the jail cell where they belong. They should be in the jail cell rotting because they took somebody's life. Because what I've been taught, and I mean this is for everybody. I don't care what color you are. When you take somebody's life, there's supposed to be a punishment. There's supposed to be consequences for that. That means you're supposed to go to jail, and either you get the death penalty, which they don't really have in certain states anymore. To get rid of that because executions are things of the past. They don't really do that much anymore. But some states still have it. But you should be going to jail for taking somebody's life. You shouldn't be told that you get a slap on the wrist and you get to go home, have Burger King with your family, go to sleep, and then live to see another day. You shouldn't be walking around. We got George Zimmerman walking around. We got the guy that killed Tamir Rice at another police precinct now, walking around doing his job again at another precinct so he could go out there and kill another black child. That doesn't make any sense. So when black people who are disillusioned and who are really just messed up in their head tell me that they believe this, I have to shake my head. I don't want to curse black people out. I don't want to call them names because you know what? It's wrong. I understand that we got to correct them, the ones who don't know what the hell is going on. But some of these people do know what's going on, and they choose to just turn a blind eye. They just cover their eyes over. They don't want to look because they already know what's going on, but they don't want to believe it. They don't want to accept it, and that's all there is to it. And we have to accept that too. The same thing goes for this trend of interracial dating now that is taking place. The reason I said this before, and I'm gonna say it again in this video because I need to say it. You can understand it. The reason why we have so many interracial like pairings on television now, especially when it comes to black women and white men, there's two reasons actually. Number one is because white society, the dominant society, as they call themselves, because I don't believe they're dominant over me at all. I'm a human being. They're a human being. That's all. That's all there is to it. Nobody's better than me. I'm not better than anybody else. But I look at it like this: they're dying out. Their numbers are dwindling. A lot of women are not getting pregnant anymore as they used to. The sperm counts are low. A lot of them are dying out from not only certain conditions and diseases and stuff like that, sicknesses and illnesses, but they're also dying from the drug problem. The opioids is killing them as well. Because a lot of them have heroin addictions and cocaine addictions. Don't think it's just black people because it's more so them than anybody else. That's why back in the day, they would go to black neighborhoods to get themselves high because they wanted to get their fix. They knew where to go. But they were the ones that were using that shit more than anybody else. Don't let them tell you otherwise, because it's just not true. That's another thing you need to stop doing. Stop listening to everything they say, because what they say, they want you to believe, because they want you to believe they're better than everybody else. And I mean no disrespect against any black person out here who knows what's going on. And I'm not going to speak any hate, because I'm not speaking hate right now. But I'm letting it be known this video. I'm not speaking hate at all. This is not hatred. This is facts. This is facts right here I'm speaking. This is documented. So the other thing is, they know that black women have a very, very huge, percentage of giving birth. So why not get the men emasculated? Let's emasculate the black men. Let's make these black men look like they're losers, like they're cowards, like they're weak, and then we'll take their women, because the women give, they give birth at a very high percentage, and in order to keep their people going, they need to have these women give birth to as many of these. I don't want to say the word because I'm going to sound bad. They want these black women to give birth to as many of them as possible. Let's put it that way. So that's why they're pushing that agenda, because there has never been any time that I've been alive until now that I've seen this generation of swirling, that I've seen this generation of propaganda being put out there as it's being put out now. I've never seen it like this ever. I've said it before. There have been times on television shows where we've seen interracial couples. Not many, but there have been times. But I've never seen it the way I see it now. This is definitely an agenda. Chris Miller and Radical Sister talked about that interracial pairing of Michonne and Rick. When I used to love Walking Dead. I'll still play the video games that come out because I'm into the Walking Dead, Telltale, all that. But I won't never watch the show again. The one thing I noticed about Walking Dead, even when I was watching, because I was a big fan of it, but I stopped watching, is the fact that they do emasculate black men in that show. There was a racist guy. I believe his name was Merle. I think he was there. His name was Merle. He was a racist white dude. And there was a black guy that was on that show. Merle beat the crap out of that black guy. This black guy is like a brawling black guy too. He beat the racist guy beat the crap out of that black man. Beat the crap out of him. That was like season 1 or season 2 or something like that. And as time went on, there was another black man that was on. I think his name was Abraham. He was Sasha's brother. That pretty black girl, Sonequa Williams, I believe. She's on Star Trek or something now. But she's married to a black man in real life. But even then, they had him on that show. He got his ass whooped by Rick. They got into some kind of dispute or something like that. He punched Rick like 2 or 3 times. Then Rick knocked him to the ground and started hitting him and beating the crap out of him. So I seen the emasculation of black men on that show, and I started thinking about, what am I watching here? Because a lot of black men get emasculated because that's a show where a white man is going to be the primary, hero of the show. So skipping and fast forward now, we get to Michonne going with Rick. In the comic books, Michonne was never with a white man. She was always with a black man. So the fact that they decided to switch things up, I should say, and have Michonne go out with Rick, who was the main character, I couldn't deal with that. That was already the red flag right there, letting me know that I was not going to watch that show anymore. And then Sasha, I believe that was that light-skinned black girl's name. She was with a guy named Bob in the show. He wound up getting killed because he turned to a zombie. She was in love with him, and he was in love with her. But as time went on, she started having feelings for this white dude. And when she died, because she turned into a zombie herself, she didn't think about Bob, the black guy. They had her think about the white man that she was messing with. They never kissed in the show up until the point when she was dying. She had a dream where she met him before she was dying. And in the dream, she kissed him. At least I saw that clip on YouTube. And I was like, oh my God. I said, I can't. I just can't. So that swirling agenda, it's making its way everywhere. I don't understand why black people have this foolish mind where they believe that they need to shout to the top of the hills that white people are the best options for them. You look at history when our ancestors were being treated a certain way. You look at what's going on throughout the years as we've been alive, as there's no equal justice for us as there's justice for them. And you still going to tell your own people that they need to go outside their community, that they need to date these people, that they need to procreate with these people. And when all these people do is just continuously show hatred towards us. You want to say there's some good white people out there? Okay, there are. Very little, though. And the ones who are good, they're not doing anything to fight against this hatred because it's not their fight. But yet, you black people out there that believe we live in a post-racist society, you will fight everybody's battle. You will go out there and fight the battle for the Mexicans. You will go out there and fight the battle for the lesbian and gay community. You will well, we have some in our community, so I understand that, but still. You'll fight feminism. You'll get on this Me Too bandwagon, which is just about taking down black men. So you should be ashamed of yourself. Okay? Any black person that wants to take another black person down, whether it be a man or a woman, should be ashamed of themselves. Because I don't believe in, this connecting from each other. I believe in connecting and being united as always. I know not all of us can do it, but I believe in that kind of society for black people. So another thing that really pisses me off as well about these disillusioned black people is the fact that they will teach their children the same values that they have. They will teach their children to turn the other cheek, and their children will continue to get their asses beat in school because they can't fight back. They will continue to put their children in these schools that are not teaching them their greatness, because black children don't learn about people like Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, and all these other real heroes who worked for the black community and did everything they could for black liberation. They'll learn about Martin Luther King, who also was against what he did near the end of his life because he realized it was a mistake. They won't learn about the Nation of Islam. They won't learn about the Black Panthers. They won't learn about any kind of organization or any black person on this planet that fought for liberation in an extreme way, because they don't want black people to be uppity. They don't want black people to have some kind of mind where they're going to fight back and they're going to stand up and speak out and, stare down the face of racism. They want you to be docile. They want you to be weak. They want you to believe that we live in a post-race society, because they already got you doing it anyway, by putting these shows on with these You're not showing me that you live in a post-race society when I'm seeing nothing but white men and black women together. You're not showing me that when you show me black men and white women together. I want to see, like I did back in the day when I was a child, pairings of black men and black women together, because I want to see the black family represented on television. That is what they're erasing. If you pay close attention to what is happening on television now, you will not only see the agenda continues to grow and grow with black women being targeted for be with white men, because that's been going on for the last 4 years. I could see it on TV shows. There have been a number of TV shows that have been doing that shit. I told you Angela Bassett is in a show called Now and When, and she's messing with a white man now. They made her husband gay, emasculated him. She was messing with a younger black man, but it didn't work out. But suddenly it works out with this white man. It's amazing how things work out with the white man, but it never work out with the black man. When you got a white man writing a script for a show and he has a black couple there, you can guarantee yourself 9 times out of 10 that black couple is going to break up. They're never going to be together, never going to last the test of time like a white couple will. A white couple can stand the test of time. An Asian couple can stand the test of time. A mixed couple, which in this case is going to be a black woman and a white man, can stand the test of time. Nothing will break them up, no matter what. Cheating doesn't matter. The man could cheat. She'll forgive them. Black men and black women, it'll never last. Not as far as they're concerned, it will never last. It will never last. And it's terrible that they do this, but they do this. And I see this. And if you don't see it, then I don't know where you've been. But there is an agenda against the black family. There's an agenda against black unity. That's all there is to it. They don't want black people to be together. That's all there is to it. Now they can say, oh, that's bullshit. You don't know what you're talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I do. Now we're together out here on these streets. We're together. We're still dating each other. We're still having children together. We're still in love with each other. But we got some people in the community that have broken away, because they've fallen for the lies, they've fallen for the tricks, they've fallen for the deception and the treachery of the dominant society. This is not hatred I'm speaking in this video. I'm speaking facts. We see it every day. You got black women following these idiots and black men following these idiots, telling them to get outside the community, go find someone else outside their community, meaning someone that doesn't look like them. Then these people end up dead. When are you going to understand and learn that going to another type of woman, going to another type of man is not going to solve your issue? Just because the color of the man's skin has changed, just because the color of the woman's skin has changed, doesn't mean your problems are going to magically go away. It's not going to happen. Disillusioned black people need to wake up. And if they don't want to wake up, they're going to get left behind. That's all there is to it. Because there's no time to continue playing with you when you're out there broadcasting how much you love your enemy, how much you love the dominant society, and then you have no love for your own people. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Bottom line. Talk to you next time.